somewhere on the Eastern Front. 1942, the temperature is 20 below zero. A young woman, just 19 years old, pulls back the canvas skin of her aircraft to check the fuel. Her plane is made of wood and fabric, a relic from the 1920s. It has no radio, no armor, and she has no parachute. Her mission tonight, to fly low over the most advanced army in the world, in the dark, and bomb them. The Germans have a name for her and her comrades. They call them the Nachthexen, the night witches, and tonight the witches are flying. Welcome to top-tier TV. In the annals of World War II, there are stories of incredible technological leaps, the jet engine, the ballistic missile, the atomic bomb. But this is not one of those stories. This is a story of courage, ingenuity, and sheer audacity in the face of overwhelming odds. This is the story of the 588th Night Bomber Regiment of the Soviet Air Force, first all-female combat aviation unit in modern history. While the world was at war, these young women, many of them still in their teens, fought not with superior technology, but with cunning and bravery. They flew in biplanes so slow that faster German fighters would stall out trying to shoot them down. Their tactics were born of necessity, and their impact was psychological as much as it was military. For the German soldiers on the ground, the dead of night now held a new, terrifying sound, the soft whoosh of a witch's broomstick in the dark. To understand the night witches, you have to understand the situation in 1941. Operation Barbarossa, the Nazi invasion of the Soviet Union, was the largest military operation in history. The Red Army was in a state of collapse, losing millions of soldiers. In this desperate hour, the Soviet High Command turned to every resource it had. This included a famous aviatrix, Marina Raskova, who was essentially the Soviet Amelia Earhart. Raskova was inundated with letters from young women who wanted to serve their country. She successfully petitioned Joseph Stalin to create 3 all-female air regiments. One of them was the 588, dedicated to night bomb. The recruits who showed up were students, factory workers, and clerks. They were given men's oversized uniforms, their hair was cut short, and they were sent to the Engels military aviation school for a crash course in navigation, mechanics, and night flying. Their aircraft was the Polikarpov Po-2. It was a biplane, designed as a crop duster and trainer. It was laughably obsolete. Its top speed was less than 100 miles per hour. It was so flimsy that a few bullets could tear it apart. But the Po-2 had hidden advantages. It was incredibly maneuverable, could take off from and land on almost any patch of ground, and its wooden and canvas construction made it difficult for German radar to get a solid lock. Let's focus on one pilot, a young woman like Nadezhda Popova. By 1943, she had flown hundreds of missions. Her crew consists of just 2 people, herself as the pilot, and her navigator, who is also her best friend. The navigator sits in the front cockpit, her map illuminated by a single, small red light to protect their night vision. She is also the bomb aimer. Their night begins at a remote, makeshift airfield, often just a flat stretch of field. The ground crews, also women, work tirelessly in the freezing cold to arm and refuel the planes. Each Po-2 can only carry 2 bombs, one under each lower wing. The weight is so carefully calculated that the pilots often leave their pistols behind to save a few precious kilograms. The mission profile is a relentless cycle of terror. A single night could involve up to 18 separate sorties per crew. They fly in formations of 3. As they approach the target area, the lead plane will draw the attention of the German searchlights. The other 2 will slip into the darkness. This is where their most terrifying tactic comes into play. Nadezhda's navigator gives her a signal. They've reached the initial point. Now they begin their bombing run. Nadezhda pushes the throttle forward, gains a little altitude, and then she cuts the engine. The world goes silent. The only sound is the wind, whistling through the wires and struts of the old biplane. They are now a ghost, gliding silently down towards their target. This is why the Germans called them witches. The only warning a German soldier had was this eerie whoosh in the darkness, seconds before the bombs landed. It was a sound that bred superstition and sheer terror. In the front seat, the navigator is now a pilot in her own right, guiding Nadezhda with subtle hand gestures, lining up the target. They are descending, completely vulnerable. If the engine doesn't restart, they will crash. If a searchlight finds them, they are dead. They have no defense. At the last possible moment, the navigator releases the 2 small bombs by hand, pulling a lever to send them tumbling into the darkness below. The moment the bombs are away, Nadezhda slams the ignition. The engine sputters, coughs, and then roars back to life. This is the most dangerous moment. The sound instantly gives away their position. Searchlight beams slice through the night, trying to pin them in a cone of light. The German flak guns, the terrifying 88s, open up, filling the air around them with black puffs of smoke and shrapnel. Nadezhda throws the stick forward, diving to treetop level, weaving violently to avoid the deadly light and steel. She flies so low that her navigator can see the faces of the German soldiers shooting at them with rifles and machine guns. They don't climb until they are miles away, the darkness swallowing them once more, their hearts pounding, already turning back to base to rearm and do it all over again. The 588th Night Bomber Regiment flew over 23,000 combat missions during the war. They dropped over 3,000 tons of bombs and countless incendiary devices. They were so effective that any German pilot who managed managed to shoot one down was automatically awarded the Iron Cross. These young women, flying their wooden crates, were a high-value target. They endured unimaginable hardship. Frostbite was constant. Fatigue was a given. They suffered heavy casualties. Over 30 pilots and navigators were killed. Their life expectancy was brutally short, but they flew on, from the Caucasus to the gates of Berlin. In 1945, the 508th was redesignated the 46th Taman Guards Night Bomber Aviation Regiment. They had earned the Guards title, the most elite designation in the Soviet military. 23 of its members were awarded the Hero of the Soviet Union, the nation's highest honor. They proved that courage is not a matter of gender, and that sometimes the most potent weapon is not the most advanced one, but the one wielded with the most daring and resolve. The story of the Night Witches forces us to redefine our image of a WWII ace. It wasn't always about the fastest plane or the most kills. For these women, victory was measured in sleepless nights for the enemy, in disrupted supply lines, and in the relentless psychological warfare waged from the seat of a flying antique. What do you think? Were the Night Witches the most courageous pilots of the Second World War? How do you think you would have handled the terror of a silent, gliding bombing run? We want to hear your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Let's get a real discussion going about these incredible women. If you believe stories like this deserve to be told and remembered, please help us out. Hit that like button and subscribe to Top Tier TV. We are dedicated to unearthing the most incredible, untold stories from history. Tap the bell icon so you never miss a new video, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Remember their name, the Night Witches.